Hello everyone and welcome back to PandaCraft. Last episode was entirely based around frogs to get these three little guys. But why did we get them? Well, not only because they're beautiful, but most importantly we got them now so that way we can finish setting up this massive sorting system. So we're going to finally start today's episode by finishing off this here sorting system. So it's actually very easy to do this. It's just a matter of maneuvering later on down the line. That's going to be a problem when there's water channels. But ideally, we won't have to do that. So all we got to do for these is stick your item in and then put 4 blocks that do not go in the sorting system. Absolutely do not enter the system under any circumstances. And then as you'll see with this one, throw those in there. And then when it has enough items, it'll filter them downwards, and then it'll stop when it is ready to be filtered again, which does mean like all of these items will not enter our sorting system until we accumulate a good portion of them. So we will have to do quite a bit of resource collecting on a lot of items, but most of these items are pretty by project type blocks, so I don't see them as being quite a requirement at the moment. We'll get there when we get there, if we get there. Time lapse, away! Let me tell you, a massive resource collection period has to come sometime soon. I kind of want to do it in a live stream. Hopefully time persists, and would you be interested in that? Just kind of a chit-chat session with y'all and me while I resource collect. Would any of you be interested in watching that? Let me know. One of the projects I do towards the end of this video, actually the tail end of this video, I desperately needed some resources collected before that. I really need to stockpile up on all my colored blocks especially, because I'm going to be using a lot of those. So now our sorting system is about 90% of the way done. But, you know, the whole honey situation put me at a halt for a while, and I'm still going to need more to add the actual, like, water tunnels, whatever you want to call them, the channels. Oh, what am I standing on? Well, let me show you. While I was awaiting the honey that I needed to at least finish putting items into the sorting system, I got a little bored, and I found out while I was in my system I could still load in my bees. So, I decided to start decorating up the mansion a little bit. Frankly, the porch we had on here was absolutely atrocious looking. It was an idea, it just doesn't fit a mansion, you know? I can't even say it was an idea, it was an unfinished idea, right? It was just something at the time. As for the rest of the mansion, I do want to try and get some part of the mansion done in every episode. I'm not saying it's going to happen, because things like this take quite a while, and I was just lucky enough to have all the materials to do this task. I am fairly certain though I'm just gonna take down the creeper farm. I don't know if I'll actually use all the gunpowder I've already collected. Although I do kinda want to make a stockpile of TNT. I don't know if I'm ever gonna have a need for it, but I'd like to have it at least before I get rid of, if I get rid of the creeper farm. Absolute most, I have to move it. It was nice at the time to have it right here in the epicenter of everything I was doing, but now it's just a problem. I would definitely say this has been a massive improvement on the mansion, but now it just looks way more plain than anything. So before we had nothing, and we knew we had nothing. Now we have something, but there's all this nothing behind it. But, you know, I just want to do this a little bit at a time. I mean, heck, I don't even have a roof over the top of this here yet. It's just a bunch of pillars on a nice flat surface. One other thing you might notice is my bees are no longer on the beach. I already took the liberty of moving them into Mount Squillmore. Now to get in, you know, it's basically just ram the side and dig somewhere, right? See, ta-da, we made it. Alright, yeah, anyways, the bees are right up here. And I left it AFK for, how long? 5 hours. About 5 hours, roughly. And this is what we have. Look at that. Actually, there might be more. I didn't have enough glass to evenly distribute bottles. Okay, no, it looks like that's all we got. Alright, But that's still a decent amount of honey. That's definitely enough now to finish off our system. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do yet, though. I haven't quite decided. I have a couple things on today's to-do list. And frankly, I'm bored of this sorting system. It's that close to being done, I know. But, I suppose I really should just get this done and over with, huh? Alright, how do I get up there? Carefully? I'll set up the actual, like, dropping system later, and what I set up here is just going to be temporary. Very temporary. That way, I can get it nice and set up correctly a little later on down the line, when I have this whole area decorated. I have 3 or so different ideas for what I'm going to do here. I originally wanted the elevator there, but I changed my mind and I kind of want it here. But at the same time, I could just drop it in the middle, leave this hole open, because I'm going to need an overflow spot anyways. And I think that would fit nicely back here. Because again, I can just keep digging back this way. I got quite a distance I can go. I don't know if it was this system I made where I needed multiple drop systems. But I know for a fact I had an item sorter back in 1.16 with every item in the game, including like all banners and whatnot. So that one definitely needed multiple dropping units. I don't recall this one needing a bunch though, but we'll see. So right now just laying the ice, and we'll come back after with the water and whatnot. I'm thinking now before I continue, I'm going to do a time to see how long it takes an item to get around this ring. Because again, items despawn after 5 minutes. I highly do not think it's going to take 5 minutes for an item to get around this ring. But if I'm going to have an item point where I need to pick it up, right here is going to be the perfect spot before I go into the intertwining part. A little behind the scenes action, this is my every item sorter I was talking about. I just want to look at it and kind of get an idea for what I'm actually doing here. And as you can see, my lovely doorbell. Just me? Maybe? I think it's funny. But this is my drop-off area. That's my buddy Kirby. Right, so you just throw items in. That's just a light hidden. Let me see what's going on here. If you watched my video on my head machine, this is the same unit I used, but the important part about why I'm looking at it in this world is the timings. Because this will set it so that way it doesn't overwork the sorting system. If you have items shooting too fast, you can flood your hoppers, and it can become a mess. If you want a more in-depth tour of this world, put it in the comments. I might make it for one of my videos. So now we just have to take this unit and put it in PandaCraft. Now to the actual water part of this unit. I took the liberty to make some blue glass. There's no need to color code it. I just like color coding things. Well, every 4 blocks, like on the 5th, right, you'll want to take a slab and place it down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I spaced it nicely so that way right before it starts. And the reason we're putting these slabs in every 5 blocks is so the item doesn't float too high in the system to not be recognized by the hoppers. It's really important that the items actually hit each hopper. Otherwise, it's only filtering like 3 of every 5 items. If there was one thing I could change about how I actually tackled this process, it would be, instead of using water buckets, using ice. Because if you just get regular ice, they can just melt from your torches, or you can just break them. And frankly, if I went through and just put a torch by all the ice blocks, it would have been way easier and less hectic. Because it's just a game of place water, place glass, so it doesn't spill. Because later on, not in this part, but in the next section that I do after my test run, I end up breaking some of my redstone. Alright, now with all that in place, I think we give it a test run and see how long it takes one item to get around just this back ring. Because it's going to take longer to get through here. And if it takes more than 2 minutes, I think it'd be worth doing a recycle. So, no, well, by that, of course, I mean another one of these dropping units. Alright, yeah, let's just put in a golden carrot. Because right now we know for a fact golden carrots are not in the ring. I am mildly procrastinating. Alright. Go, 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 go. Alright, now run. Where'd you go? Where are you? Where is it? Is it going that fast that I missed it, or is it going so slow I thought I missed it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, actually, okay, this is actually going real fast. Real fast. Oh, wow. 14, 13-ish seconds? Holy shnikes. Okay. I was thinking, okay, the honey's gonna make it run real slow. We're gonna take our time here. No, it's just like, nah, we're done. We're done. What else is done after this is pretty much everything. The only thing really left to do with this whole sorting area is a better overflow. Because at the end, I only have a couple chests for overflow items. And especially if I go doing miscellaneous resource collecting, I'm going to need a bigger miscellaneous area. But at the same time, I would like the miscellaneous items to be mixed in with their correct counterparts, if you understand what I mean. An example of this being, in the overflow would lay the coal ores, or basically all the ore blocks, and I want to take those ore blocks and manually put them into the ones with the refined versions. In the end, might I take them out? Possibly. When I make a proper decorative overflow area, with the elevator in place, so on and so forth, it may be nice to do that. But for right now, having it mixed in, it's because we don't really have a whole lot of items yet. Not to say we don't have a lot of items. It took me 4 hours to sort all the items in this system. It's functional, not fast, okay? It may have even been faster than doing it with copper golems. I'm not sure. I still haven't played with those. We'll get there with the overflow area, though. I think that'll be our final solution when the time comes. Right now, I'm just hoping a big update doesn't come out and I'm going to need to add a bunch more new blocks. The sorting system is officially done, and all my items are officially in the sorting system. Now, as I mentioned in the time-lapse, I do plan to go through and take some items out. As you see, I already done it with 2 of these at least. 3 if you count this chest of unstackables and tools. There are a couple items in here that may serve as a problem, though. So let's enter our free cam mode, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right here. This happens twice in the system. We got it here, and we got one over here where it circles back and heads directly into the hopper. Now with the flow of the water, there's a chance it'll just skip this hopper, and I want to say this one's the purple glass? Yeah, purple glass and nothing. But purple glass might just get skipped in this system because of how I work this. But I was going through some of my older files, right, where I just saved like miscellaneous things I saw on Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth, of different ideas. And I stumbled across something. The only problem is I don't have any pickles yet. And it's on the to-do board to make a pickle farm, right? I need pickles. No matter what, I need pickles. So I guess we're going to have to go exploring for some pickles real quick. I don't know if I actually had a coral reef biome anywhere. I don't remember any ever coming across one at all. So I'm just gonna start flying and hope for the best. Pickles. We got a pickles. Come here, pickles. Yo, my pickles now. Did I get pickles? Did I not? Get out of here. I got my tube coral, why didn't I get my pickles? There we go, okay. We'll grab a bunch while we're here. You see what I see here? You know what this is? This is the trial chamber. There... Are you kidding me? There's a little reef right here. Oh... If I had only literally looked over the hill when I came here earlier. Wow. Are you... When did I get you? When? I don't know what to say. I feel stupid. I feel really stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't realize how stupid I was. Not only did I already have pickles, I looked at the video wrong. It only works in a system that completely disregards the honey and instead uses iron bars. So how that system works is basically, the benefit is you can have two systems going in, but what it works is that goes in, throw an item in, and then it'll run nicely down the side. With my system, this doesn't really have a use. I don't know. I like the idea of this one, but ultimately for the system I made, this is not the solution. So what I'm thinking is when I finally get around to setting up a barn and some wool farms, that I use that kind of system to make a wool area over here, and then the wool that ends up in my main unit is just wool I've been using and so on and so forth, just some stockpile. Just to try out that design, because it looks better than the one I have here with all the honey. I don't know, again, I don't know if there's an actual benefit or why honey's better, why iron bars are better. If you know, put it in the comments. Otherwise, we'll just test them both out at some point and see what happens. There's still a part of me that hates breaking leaves and whatnot with my tools from playing Minecraft before mending was in the game. Now it really means nothing because I can just repair my tool. But back when, it was just wasting durability on a leaf? I don't know. Just a thought. I'm sure you've seen this method used before, where you just go along and bone meal up your moss. But I've never done it. And frankly, this area up here, the whole area around here just looks boring and terrible when it comes to the terraforming. Right? The area behind us is nice with the trees. The area over by Mount Schoolmore is pretty nice with just the drop-off. But here, where, we look at it all the time, it looks bad. So I'm going to just attempt to do this, do some basic terraforming with dirt or stone, and then just moss it over. If I don't like it, it's going to be a big cleanup project. In my head, doing this method, I thought it would be quick and easy, just moss, do everything, but I ended up doing way more actual terraining of the area than I originally anticipated, giving it a nicer shape and everything. I thought it looked fine before this, and then I just realized how much work it really needed. That's better. I don't know how I feel about it though. I think there's too much grass, right? Maybe? Yeah, there's definitely way too much grass. I'm gonna have to come through and mow it down at some point. But I do like this. I like the idea of having a little beach area, nice little relaxation spot. Kind of like my outro bit that I made. But more seasoned for this series rather than just a miscellaneous beach. And what I'm kind of thinking here is this I have a later plan for. I kind of want to keep it similar to what it's like, but reshape it and yada yada. But over here, I don't know. I'm thinking about just extending the moss up and around at some point, but I'm not quite sure how I like this, how it climbs up structure. Frankly, I kind of want to see more stone up in there, so I might just rip that all down. I mean, at least up to the snow point, and basically rebuild it the same shape, but with a different texture to it. We'll see, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm thinking is I'm going to put a boat or fishing dock right here, right? Just to kind of separate this whole area from here for right now. Mainly because the terrain just fully changes as you go right here and over. It's all just stiff peaks and it's just a nice cutoff point. But I want more than a dock. I don't have time to build a dock right now. This video has to go up in a couple hours. Come on, nothing's lit up. I need to go to bed. That's a big problem I have right now. I'll get there when I get there, but I need to sleep, buddy. There we go. I saw a lovely design for like a swan boat. So I'm gonna try and build that right here. By that I mean I'm going to build it exactly how the original video did, and then I'll have it linked in the description. I don't want it too straight on from here, because that's where my little main beach layout's going to be, with a palm tree, the place where I lay under it to relax. So yeah, let's put it like right here. Man, I love scaffolding. I know there's a lot of scaffolding haters, but I'm a big fan of scaffolding and netherrack. I never understood the dirt. You're like, oh, with all these big extra things, you can insta-mine it. But, you use dirt for so much other stuff. How do you separate it? Other than just wasting it. Whereas if you're using netherrack, 99% of the things you're doing, you're not going to confuse netherrack as a structure block. It's just easy and, join the netherrack club for building. It's a good one. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that looks lovely. And we'll come back with the armor stands a little later. I actually want to add more aquatic. Well, not necessarily aquatic. I want to add more water birds. More specifically, no world is ever set without a lovely rubber ducky. God, look at all the mobs. Oh, that's awful. That's absolutely awful. Well, good thing we're out on the water. Now the question becomes, where do I put the other ducks? Because that one's a boat. These are going to be more real ducks. I'm thinking up over here. So right over here, I have a nice little duck family. Can't be any more simple. 3 blocks, 2 buttons. Oh, okay, fine. Prove me wrong. And then, of course, a lovely beak. Boom, we got a rubber ducky. Let's add a couple, in a variety. Okay, that really breaks it up nicely. It does still leave our swan kind of lonesome, but it's a boat, and there's just not a dock yet. So next time I'm expecting maybe, well, actually next time we should probably knock some more stuff off the board, since, this whole episode has pretty much just been one massive sidetrack. But hit that subscribe button if you liked what you saw today. Leave a comment with what you would like to see me do in the PandaCraft world here. And I will see you in the next episode. See ya!